opposition?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Roy, from the great state of Texas, I yield 5 minutes.
Well, thank you. I do seek time in opposition, with all due respect from the gentlelady from California, with whom I'm happy to work on, for example, ending 20-year-old authorizations of the use of military force, and that we need to re-engage on that. Happy to work with you on that. And look, on this issue, my father worked for the Internal Revenue Service for about 24 years, I think. Which, you know, kind of odd for a, you know, conservative from Texas, but my dad moved here. He actually worked right down here, 1111 Constitution Avenue, and the work of the IRS is important to carry out the function it is charged to carry out. The expansion of the IRS under the so-called Inflation Reduction Act will have a disproportionate impact on people that do not have significant means. That's just the data from the IRS own data. The number of audits that will be directed by their estimates, the IRS, on people who make significantly less, say under 100,000. You've got hundreds of thousands of Americans that would be dealing with audits of the plussed up power given to the Internal Revenue Service. There's nothing in the IRA that limits those targets, by the way. It has some findings language that talks about it being focused on above $400,000, but there's no statutory requirement on that. But even so, I mean, the fact of the matter is, roughly, and these are ballpark numbers, they change by the year, you know, the top 1% of the population is paying about 40% of the taxes. So I'm not sure what the fair share here is. If anybody over there can tell me on the Laffer curve or any other curve you want to put out economically about what tax rates yield the most revenue, if that is your goal in the first place, I don't think anybody in this room knows. I don't think anybody in this room knows what rates yield the maximum revenue. So then we've got the IRS here, and I'm going to yield to my friend from Utah here in just a minute. This bill is just simply empowering the IRS to go after large number of American citizens. And, you know, that I think is not something that is in the best interest of the people. The IRS audits the poor at 5 times the rate of everyone else. That's that bastion of conservatism, CBS News. New York Times, black taxpayers at least 3 times as likely to be audited by the Internal Revenue Service. The basic point is, so-called tax cheats can afford accountants and lawyers to manage a highly complex tax code, which is my last point. If we want to solve this problem, simplify the code, make it to where it is much more difficult to navigate that with tax lawyers and accountants, and let's get busy doing the work we need to do to get our fiscal house in order. And I would yield to the gentleman from Utah.